thank you for joining us for our Spring Racing Carnival edition of Aquanita Racing 24/7. During the show, we'll bring you all the latest news from the Aquanita stables as the curtain falls on another memorable Melbourne Spring Racing Carnival. Each of the 4 Aquanita trainers will be reporting in with their recap of the past week when Flemington took centre stage, and it will give us a preview of what's in store for the coming weeks as all eyes now turn to Sandown. We'll also be taking you to the first Aquanita Owners Barbecue of the season, and of course, we'll be meeting another outstanding team member when we catch up with Maddie Batkin. But as always, let's first catch up with the breaking news. The team and close friendship of Aquanita trainer Robert Smerdon and owner Phil Sly was one of the key focal points of the Flemington Carnival when Phil's 5-year-old mare Politeness bolted home to win the $500,000 Group 1 Maya Classic on day. And we thought she was going to do it all over again last Saturday as she weaved her way out of trouble to charge home only to just miss out on the $1 million Group 1 Emirates Stakes. And on Cup Day, Phil's 3-year-old Stravinsky filly, Indara, gave a gallant effort to run second in the Lexus Hybrid Plate. Crown Oaks Day saw sun, storms and even a tornado warning at Flemington, but the show went on when Phil and a host of other equally excited owners witnessed Barisha fight to the end to win the 1800-metre Swiss Wellness Trophy. John Sadler also had 2 very exciting horses run on Oaks Day, with Bengal Cat and Jafils both performing gallantly in their respective races, and Lord Athenaeum ran home hard to place second for Stewart Webb in the Crown Resorts Plate. And not all the action was confined to Flemington when over in the west on Saturday, Simon Miller's 3-year-old filly Patchouli Jewel ran a terrific race to hold on for second in the Amelia Park Plate at Ascot. Simon is just 2 winners away from clocking up his 300th winner since joining Aquanita. And in other breaking news over the past 2 weeks, the Aquanita Group chalked up a massive milestone of a total of $125 million in stakes prize money, excluding bonuses since its inception. A remarkable achievement, and congratulations to all the Aquanita team. As I mentioned earlier, each of the 4 Aquanita trainers will be calling in with all the news from their stables, and I now have Simon Miller on the phone from Perth. Thanks, Simon, for joining us.
Hi, Jamie. We've been relatively quiet runners-wise, just gearing up for Super Saturday. It's Saturday week, but the ones that have gone around have been running very consistently. We ran second on the weekend with a filly called Patchouli Jewel, who will be getting ready for a stakes race Saturday week. Key to Fame ran 4th in a listed race, which is the last lead-up race to the Guineas, so he's on track. And once again, that Saturday week, so we're just starting to get all the team ready to go. Liberty's Jet Melbourne Cup Day ran 3rd in a Group 3 race, which is the last lead-up race to the Winterbottom, so he's going in the right direction. And we had a horse that's had 2 starts for a first and a second. Remember Berlin, he won well on Melbourne Cup Day as well. So teams racing very consistently, but this week moving forward, we probably don't have many runners. Got a 2-year-old in on Saturday. Haven't seen the opposition yet, so I don't know what's installed there. And Fools Bet, she was probably just a touch disappointing first up, but she got a bit above herself, so she's calmed down behind the scenes, and she'll run well Saturday, and then she'll be on the back up for Super Saturday as well. So everything this week's pretty cruisy runners-wise as we're gearing up for the main day. So that's where the team's at, but hopefully 2 weeks' time we can do an update saying we've won all the features.
It sounds like it's heating up in Perth. Simon, thank you for your time and best of luck over the coming weeks. Well, the carnival isn't completely over in Melbourne as we look towards a terrific day of racing this Saturday at Sandown. And for all the latest from John Sadler's stable, John now joins me from Caulfield. Welcome, John.
Hi there, Jamie. This is John Sadler with all the news from my stable through the past week and what we've got coming up. As far as Cup Week was concerned, the horses ran extremely well, but we couldn't find a winner. 4th and 5th were the order of the day, unfortunately, but as I said, pleased with their performances, and I'm sure there's better to come from them down the line. Now, as far as this coming Saturday is concerned, some of the horses that have been in work for a long time and that are probably starting to come to the end of their tether. Hopefully they've got one more left in them, and one of those is Charmed Harmony, who's been in for a long time. But I'm still very happy with him. His run last start at Flemington was extremely good, where he didn't get any piece near the lead at all, and they went far too hard, and I thought he did an outstanding job to run fourth. So he goes around in the 1,500 metre stakes race on Saturday, so his form at Sandown is extremely good. Then we've got Jaffles, who ran a great race in the Mum Stakes last Thursday on Oaks Day. She ran extremely well. She steps up to 1,500, which is not ideal, but she's in really good form, so hopefully she can get the trip, and if she does, she'll run a very good race. And we've got Digitalism returning after the Cranbourne Cup, winning the Cranbourne Cup, and he's had a bit of a freshen up, but I'm really pleased with him, and 1,800 at Sandown should be a really nice distance for him. So that's it from here for the week, Jamie, so we'll look forward to Saturday at Sandown.
Thanks as always, John, and we'll continue to follow your stable with a very keen eye. Having just notched up his 10th Group 1 winner, we're pleased that Robert Smerdon now joins us on the phone to give us a rundown on his stable's chances over the coming week. Hi, Robert.
Hi, Jamie. Another Spring Carnival completed, or well, to all intents and purposes, although we do have Sandown Classic Day on next Saturday. But the stable had a busy week, Cup week at Flemington, Politeness being the obvious star with a Group 1 win in the Myer Classic on Derby Day and a narrow defeat in the Group 1 Emirates on final day. So she carried the flag very well. Barisha was very good winning on Oaks Day, but he's gone for a spell now, and we'll look at him again in the autumn, as has Politeness. Her aim will be the good mares races in Sydney in the autumn. Indara was very good for the stable on Melbourne Cup Day, and she's going to head off to Sandown Saturday in a listed race for 3-year-old fillies over 1,400, where we was expected to be super competitive. Under the Louvre was luckless down the straight on Derby Day on a track that everyone felt was a bit biased. He goes to Sandown for the Kevin Heffernan Stakes, 1,300 metres, which is probably a perfect distance for him and an ideal track, so we're very optimistic about his chances on the weekend. We've also got Motown Lil, who ran well at her first start down the straight on Melbourne Cup Day, and she's heading to the Merson Cooper Stakes at Sandown this coming Saturday. So whilst most of the Cup Week runners, the likes of Lumosity, Politeness, Barisha, have all gone for a well-earned rest at the end of their spring campaign, a couple of them soldier on, like Under the Louvre, Indara, Motown Lil, so we will be strongly represented at the final Spring Carnival meeting next Saturday, and hopefully we can round it off with a winner or two, and those horses would all seem to be very competitive come next Saturday. So
Thanks again, Robert, and another very busy week ahead for you and your team. Speaking of which, Stewart Webb is not only Robert's assistant trainer, but of course a trainer in his own right, and Stewart now joins us. Hi, Stewart.
Hello, Jamie. We've had a fairly quiet previous week and a fairly quiet week going forward. We had Get the Picture in the Derby, who had a small breathing issue early in the race, and unfortunately that put pay to his chances. But he still ran credible, and he'll be back, hopefully heading towards a South Australian Derby or a Queensland Derby. He'll probably miss the top liners in the AJC Derby, but hopefully he'll sort of come back and improve off what's been a very, very good first preparation. Lord Athenaeum ran in the last day on Oaks Day. He ran terrific. Just got pipped late, where we all thought he'd won, but he's a horse that's really stepping up. He may go to Sandown this week, but the noms do look fairly good, so we'll make an assessment of that later in the week. Outside of that, we're going to have a fairly quiet week with possibly a horse called Lepo, who's had one start going to Swan Hill maybe. and another lower grade horse called Royalstrom, who will probably go to Geelong. So outside of those that I've just mentioned, we're probably going to have a fairly quiet week, but hopefully a couple of them will run well and then go on to, to winning a race or two. So look forward to speaking to you shortly, Jamie. Thank you.
Really appreciate your time, Stuart. Many thanks and best of luck. Now that we've caught up on all the stable news, it's time to bring you some of the news off the track. And this week we're going to take you to Aquanita's home base at Caulfield, where we hosted the first of many social gatherings to be held over the warmer months for our owners. It's a gorgeous Melbourne spring evening and we're here with a number of owners at Aquanita Stables at Caulfield. Each month from October to April, Aquanita hosts a get-together for all their owners and their families where the Aquanita team parade their horses, take stable tours and generally ensure that everyone is having a great time. Compere Rob Gaylard made sure all the guests were first with the news as he interviewed John, Robert and Stuart, and the owners thoroughly enjoyed seeing their horses in a more relaxed environment. There was keen interest in the final shares available in the gorgeous 2-year-old Bay filly by Fox Wedge out of French, which John recently purchased and currently has in work. And of course, I took the opportunity to chat about Aquanita's new ladies syndication, Come Racing with Jamie Rogers, and showed off the first 2 beautiful fillies to parade under the banner. These events are a key component to Aquanita's owner relationship program and provides the owners with valuable one-on-one time with their trainer and of course their horse. So don't forget to put in your diary the Christmas owners get together to be held on Thursday evening, the 3rd of December. And I hear a whisper that perhaps Santa might be making an appearance too. Aquanita is incredibly fortunate to have so many dedicated and talented team members behind the scenes to ensure all the horses are well looked after and in peak form. One such person is Maddie Batkin, one of Robert's barn managers. I caught up with Maddie recently in the superb grounds of Aquanita Stables and found out more about his role working with Robert and his team, and I learnt it's very much a family affair. Aquanita Racing are very fortunate to have very talented staff working behind the scenes, and I am joined today by Barn 3 manager for Robert Smerdon, Maddie Batkin. Welcome, thank you so much for joining us today.
How are you, Jamie?
I'm well.
Well.
Now, was racing always a career that you wanted to be involved in?
Definitely. My parents at a very early age, they had horses, and yeah, just something I always wanted to follow.
Now, you've been involved at Aquanita now for 2 years. What's been your journey leading up to working here and your time at Aquanita?
Well, basically, to correct you too, it's been 7 years.
7 years?
Yes, because I've worked for Tony Vassell formerly, and I've been with Robert. I'm into my 2nd year now, but yeah, and ironically too, I worked in Barn 1 for 7 years as well, so I haven't left the property for 12 years, so I really enjoy it.
You really enjoy it. What is it the most that you love about working at Aquanita?
Look, this is beautiful facilities, just the outdoors. I walk in the gate and I feel like I'm in the country.
I can see that. It's definitely a spectacular place to work. Now, there's a bit in the family as well, because I hear your wife also works for Robert.
Yes, would you believe I met my wife here at Aquanita, and we got married, and we've had our first child, who's 10 months, and absolutely loves coming in and seeing the horses on Saturday and Sunday arvos, and yeah, but she runs the feed side of things, and we'll call that the engine room.
Yes, she's the chef behind all the nutrition for the horses.
For sure.
So we'll have another up-and-coming Aquanita worker soon in the top
without a doubt.
Yeah, it's a boy.
Aquanita trainer.
An Aquanita trainer, too.
Yeah.
Now that will be good too.
Not worker trainer. Yeah, he's a boy.
Now tell us, you've been involved with the e-tracker. Do you want to give us some information about what that involves?
Yeah, for sure. Great technology. Basically, it just monitors everything. They do heart rate, all that sort of thing. But Robert can actually, if he's away, he can actually watch the horses work on a virtual map. And so if someone did the wrong thing, or as an example, while he was overseas, he could watch the horses here. Yet we could watch Shamal Wynn do her work and get all the heart rate, stride length, and fantastic technology. Very expensive, but and developing, but a great thing.
How important is the technology in terms of the racing side of things?
Well, it teaches you more about the horse. Like, you can basically, through that, you can declare whether they might be a wet tracker or they might be a stayer, a sprinter, and just the way they speed and heart rate, and yeah.
Now, what would be one of your favourite things about your job? Because it seems like a pretty fantastic job, but what would be one of the favourite things?
My favourite thing, variety. I'm not someone that can sit in an office and do that sort of work, but just always different things. Using the facilities, like we have aqua treadmills and every sort of thing. Like, I can always go and move on to a different job, and it makes me happy.
Now, out of Barn 3, are there any runners that we should keep an eye on over the spring or in the future?
Oh, look, I don't like to show the card. That's the boss's job, but I'll let him tell you that one.
Anything that you like? Anything that you
Oh, there's plenty I like.
Yeah.
Look, there's a wealth of talent out in the barns, but I'll let the boss tell you that one.
Okay, well, we'll go speak to Robert about that one. Well, thank you so much, Maddie, for your time today.
Too easy, Jamie. Anytime.
Thanks. And now for the ones to watch over the coming week or so from the Aquanita stable, all powered by Highgain, feeding champions since 1983. Well, that's all for this edition of Aquanita Racing 24/7. We certainly hope you've enjoyed it. Good luck at Sandown, and we certainly hope you can join us again in a couple of weeks. See you then.